Good evening. I hope your day thus far has been relaxing or not too strenuous. But I thought I'd do a little video about my vision disorder and how it affects me as a writer. Uh, Visual midline shift syndrome is thought to be caused by some kind of head trauma, so it's not due to genetics. In my case, it was when my mom was in labor with me, and when the doctors were doing the cesarean, and they pulled me out, head trauma occurred. One aspect, or one thing that visual midline shift syndrome does, is it alters where your eye level is. So when I was properly diagnosed in 7th grade, my eye level was right in the middle of my nose and shifted to the left. And what that does, or what that did, was that my body was, my vision was adjusting. Both were adjusting to that eye level. So I was a toe walker, which I didn't believe for various reasons, But think of a toe walker as being like when you're going up a ramp, or if you're going up a flight of stairs, you're using the front part, mostly the front part of your foot. Well, that was me, regardless of what surface it was. So when I got my first pair of glasses, they were bifocals. They were right down in the, halfway, it was then, I don't know how many months after, or, wasn't that much longer after I got, my first correct pair of glasses, that I felt my heels. And I can't tell you how mind-boggling it is to feel your heels for the first time, because you're like, no, I'm not a toe walker. What are you talking about? Like, come on. But lo and behold, I did do vision therapy. But that's getting off track here. Another aspect of visual midline shift syndrome is there's a movement that I'm constantly seeing. I might know what I'm seeing is stationary, but there's and it's not a distortion. The best way I've been able to describe it is it being like an invisible rain effect, or a ripple effect, or the vapor above a flame, or like the static in an old television set when you're using rabbit ears and you're trying to get to the, almost got the station, not quite, or like an invisible hand waving across, your face, and you're trying to look past that. I'm 39, so I've gotten used to it, but when I talk about my vision disorder, I'm more aware of that movement. But what happens is, when it comes to reading text, that movement is amplified tenfold, making it so very overstimulating for my eyes, and dries out my eyes, and I have a hard time tracking, recognizing spelling patterns, to words that I might have heard 1,000 times but never seen written enough for me to, automatically know that that's, what that word is. So for an example I use is chaos. For a long time I couldn't figure out what chouse was. I'm like, what's chouse? What do they mean by chouse? So yeah, and because of this movement being increased, it made it harder for me to really understand what the author's intent is in the book, to follow the character arcs, to remember what I read a paragraph before or a page before. Just because I can only read for like very short sprints of time before my eyes need a break. Audiobooks. My vision disorder was actually approved by RFB&D, Research for the Blind and Dyslexic. Right when I got around high school, around 10th grade, I think. And so I was able to get audiobooks. So I could actually do reading assignments as they're being, assigned. before then, and I'm not proud of this. I was using SparkNotes, which I don't know if it still exists online or not, but I was using SparkNotes to get through reading assignments. And I just, because I was like, you want me to read 5 chapters in a day? Get me back in like 3 months. Maybe I'll be able to read them all, and I'll, without hurting my eyes wanting to like feel like I'm on the desert. So I think I've always loved storytelling. I always, um, I think I expressed my love of storytelling through my imagination with my friends, doing oral, stories, but also through fine art. I've been drawing since I've had fine motor skills. Sculpting, like visual arts was something that was really easy for me, and didn't my vision disorder didn't affect me being able to draw or to sculpt. So I really leaned into that, and kind of dismissed the other aspect of being able to storytell, which is, through writing. So I went to art school because I just people were like, "You're such a great artist. You should go to art school." And I'm like, "Okay." Which I had fun. I enjoyed all 4 years of art school. I would never take that back. But yeah, I always dismissed, being a writer was just not something that ever occurred to me. Until, when I think like 28, 29, and Pandora's box opened. But what's really nice, yeah, the audiobooks are really helpful. So I can be able to, listen to other authors that are writing in the same genre as I am. In Microsoft Word, there's, the autocorrect, that also gives you grammatical suggestions now. The read aloud feature has been really helpful. And also I have a freelance editor that I usually work with, and I love working with her because it's kind of like taking a creative writing class without actually taking a creative writing class. And I can just focus on my writing and trying to better myself myself as a writer. And also, as of March, being a part of a writing group and hearing 9 to 10 other writers, read their stuff, give critiques, being able to ask as many questions as I can, is also have been really helpful in moving past the limitations that my vision disorder sometimes has. You may see me from time to time in other videos wearing orange glasses. They're not for style. They don't have any UV protection, so they're not sunglasses. They are a prescription. And they have prisms in it. And that helps a lot. But the Wise Orange is to help minimize, or put less, not minimize, but put less strain on my eyes. So from all the movement that I'm constantly seeing, my eyes get a little bit of a break, reprieve from the movement. But for me, it's normal. I felt like everyone would see this invisible ripple, rain, vapor, bubble, flame, old television set with I thought that everyone saw it that way. And I thought I was the odd man out, my family, for not loving to read books because of how overwhelming it is, like I just said. But I'm not going to let that stop me. I don't now that I know that I have this passion, I can write, I want to write, I'm not going to, let something like a vision disorder stop me from doing that, and I don't think everyone has limitations, and I think you shouldn't, because of whatever limitations you may have or obstacles you might think you have, I don't think that should keep you from doing something that you love doing or want to pursue. So I hope this video has been very informative. Again, I will put in a description in as far as being able to, so you can see the article yourself about my vision disorder. And I hope you're having a good rest of your day.